Hello, I'm Stephen Jessup with attorneys Dell and Schaefer. Today I'm with Cesar Gavidia.
Hey, Steve.
And today we want to discuss Northwestern Mutual disability insurance claims. Cesar, I know you've handled many Northwestern claims, probably more along the lines of the individual disability claims. Could you just tell us a little bit about your experience in dealing with them in their reviews of their
Sure.
policies?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like most large disability insurance companies, I have to say Northwestern Mutual is probably one of the larger insurance companies out there. They insure both group policies and individual policies. So we see both. We see both types of claims. But as far as my experience, I've seen probably more of the individual disability claims. In other words, those policies that were marketed towards professionals, that were part of some financial package where the Northwestern Mutual financial advisor came in, sold them a package that fit basically their career, their financial future, and part of that was a disability insurance policy, which, as you know, is critical in financial planning and investing and all of that, and taking care of yourself. So, of course, we see unfortunately the end where somebody gets their claim denied. So when I've been contacted, I've seen these disability claims where, let's say, a physician contacts us. He explains that he's had some complications or difficulties in his practice, in the ability to practice safely, effectively, providing patient care, let's say. And he's submitted his application for insurance, and Northwestern Mutual has come up with some reason to deny his claim. We've looked things after looking everything, usually these claims over, and I can tell you Northwestern Mutual typically is one of these insurance companies that goes through absolutely everything.
I was going to
They
ask
cover
about the
all of their
thoroughness.
bases when it comes to evaluating and analyzing a claim. So I'd have to say they're probably one of the more challenging claims to deal with and resolve, but we've handled many of them.
Now, with regards to their individual claims practicing, you said that it was usually sold as an overall packaging on it, and I know from experience you do too. That's a very in-depth process.
Right.
So when they're evaluating a claim, say for whether it be a doctor or a business owner, what's the information that they're pulling and they're wanting to see to verify whether occupation and things of that nature?
Well, I'd say, let's say for a business owner, they're pulling all the financials. They're obviously interviewing that business owner. Sometimes they even travel to that business owner's, place of business. They could interview their staff. Northwestern Mutual really enjoys using field consultants, these field representatives that go out to that person's place of business, whether it's a medical office or a private business, and firsthand seeing what's going on. So we see that a lot. For physicians, we see them asking for production codes. We see them asking for, of course, a list of their procedures and things of that nature. But at the end, they ask for a volume of documentation, and honestly, sometimes quite overwhelming amounts of documentation.
Now, outside of a denial along the lines of they just don't think there's enough information to satisfy disability, other common, I know I've come across them, I know you've had experience, especially sometimes we'll get a denial letter where it has to do with they want to rescind the policy. What goes on with that? What's that about?
Yeah, I've seen that as well. Basically, what's happened at some stage, Northwestern Mutual discovered that there was either an omission or some sort of misrepresentation when the insured completed their application for benefits and when they were initially purchasing the policy. Most of these policies, individual policies, contain what are called incontestability provisions, which state that within the first 2 years, the insurance company can't use any omissions or mistakes in the application to deny the claim. The only exception to that, of course, is fraud or material misrepresentation. Now, fraud not in the sense that you're some criminal who's trying to take advantage of the insurance company, but that you knowingly did not disclose something when you purchased that insurance policy. So that gives them the right to rescind the policy or basically pull it back. What they usually do once they discover something like that, and they usually discover it, of course, once the person's disabled and has to make a claim, they go back and look over everything. What they'll do is they'll inform you that they're rescinding the policy. They'll send you a check for all of your premiums that you've paid up to that point, and they'll say, this is as like we never even issued it. If you refuse to accept that rescission, they basically sue you. to have that policy rescinded, and we've seen that as well.
And for the clients that you do get on claim and the claims handling, I know they're very, very thorough. Your experience once you're able to get a client on claim dealing with Northwestern, what they're going to look for, how they treat the insured, how they respond to any inquiries from you?
Like I said earlier, I think Northwestern Mutual is probably one of the more reasonable companies, and they also do a very thorough job, an exhausting job. Because when I've handled these applications, I've been on that end of it. I've seen how exhaustive their review process is. When I've seen their denial letters, they're 7, 8, 10 pages long, which as you know is a pretty long denial letter. So they've covered all of their bases, and I think that as far as just the applying an application of benefits is concerned, it's an overwhelming process, and it really behooves one to seek the counsel of someone who knows what they're doing and has been through this process before when engaging Northwestern on a claim, for sure.
So if you have a Northwestern Mutual policy, you're thinking about filing a claim, you're on claim, or they're investigating your application, please feel free, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to look at the case, determine how we may be able to assist you.